Welcome back to another episode. I'm doing monthly podcast, so every month I'm releasing a show. And what I do is, in the beginning of the show, I catch up on the last month. I have a goal that I create. So did I fulfill that? What happened? What's happening now? And what is my goal for the next month? And pretty much I do a short show talking about that, right? I include finances, I include activities, I include challenges, I include situations. Pretty much things that I feel are important enough to save and keep in the podcast. I've been doing this for 4 weeks now. Really 2 months. This is the third month. We're in March, the second week. But I'm recording every 2 weeks. So I've only done four episodes. If you haven't tapped into any of my episodes, if you haven't yet, I would suggest that you listen to my older podcasts, like Time With season. I suggest you listen to that first and then this one, because it's just how my journey's going. It just kind of allows you to understand what happened in life, I guess. That's that. Let's go and talk about what happened. What happened the last 2 weeks? What was my goal? And yeah, so my goal was to edit the remaining episodes, scheduling them out, and creating a YouTube playlist for the podcast. And pretty much make the experience the same as Spotify Premium on YouTube, which I was successful in, actually. I was able to do that last week on YouTube. You guys should go check that out. Go to Stickman, type in Stickman with the ZTIKMAN on YouTube. You'll find the page, go to playlist, and you'll see all these episodes. I've done Time With episodes. So when you click the episode, it will start how the episode should start. So if the show should start with the song, you're going to hear a song first. If the show should start with the show talking right off the top, you're going to hear that first. And then there's intermissions. Whenever there's an intermission, I include a song. So you'll hear the song in the intermission and whatnot. It's pretty nice, pretty neat. And I have the links in the description. And I have it laid out pretty much well enough for you to consume as a consumer. That is one of my proudest works, because when Spotify launched with that idea of doing podcasts with music, I was like, man, this is amazing. But you have to have Spotify Premium for you to listen to the full song on the show while the show plays, which is dumb. I mean, they're trying to sell you something. I get it. If you don't have Spotify Premium, you're only going to get 15 to 30 seconds of the song that's supposed to play, which sucks. If you want the full experience, go to YouTube, and you can either listen to the full, because I have full EPs posted. You can listen to the full EP without any songs included. It just automatically skips through the song. Or you can play the playlist, and you can skip whatever part you want. You can skip through the videos, the podcast, or you can skip through whatever song you want. So that's that. I was successful, and I'm proud of it. I wasn't successful with the other things that I was supposed to do. I have edited some of the remaining episodes. I didn't schedule any of them because I didn't complete none of them. The latest one I released was the Time with Torian, and then I did the restructuring of the playlists on YouTube. But I only have 1 or 2 podcasts to edit as of this month. I have one for sure that I have to edit before the end of the month. And then I have another one that I have to edit before the end of the year. Now, let me explain that a little bit. I did a show with a friend, Austin, and we did a show. We did the first one. We recorded it, and he was like, bro, I think I want to do the second one. I'm like, I'm down. We haven't done it. But then he came back before we started the second one recorded. And then he's like, bro, I want to do another one. So I'm like, you want to do 3? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to do them, But I got excited. I really got excited. So I was like, you know what we can do? I'll put you at the end of the year. So in the last quarter, we talk Austin. We talk you. We talk about what we talked about with you. And I rather it be all in order versus jumping around. Why? Because in the future, when you come back to these episodes, since I'm just now getting started, to the consumers now, I'm not worried about annoying them for 3 months, because most of the time they don't even see the stuff. It's not in their face all the time. So they might see one, they might see two, they might see all 3 episodes, or they might just see one. And my idea is, like, when you go back in the future to go to the episodes, well, that's the only person I'll have multiple podcasts with as of now. So because I record around the same time, I just put it both back to back, or all 3 back to back in that year. That actually opened my mind to a different idea. I was like, what if I get special guests eventually, but it'll be more organized. And I get special guests and we talk about certain topics, right? And in one quarter, we talk about this person, this motivational speaker, let's say Elon Musk or whatever. The first month, we're talking finances. The second month, we're talking technology. And we get deep in there, you know? That's kind of the idea that I have for that. When he did that, I was like, we can make that a bigger move if we organize it with more time. Time is everything, y'all. It's just something that I can't get over, and that is why Hourglass is the logo. Yeah, so that's the idea that popped in my head when Austin suggested that we record 3 episodes. And I was like, man, I like that idea. Because at first I was like, if I get somebody back on the show, like later on during the year, next year, whatever, I'll just put it whenever it releases, you know, like whenever it's done. If it's just one show. If it's multiple, then I would like to organize it a little bit better, or with better structure. That was that. I think that's it that happened on the last 2 weeks. Well, that's the plan that I had the last 2 weeks, and I actually stuck through. Other things happened which were unexpected. Some were kind of expected, and some things are yet to happen. So I want to give you a little bit of update on DoorDash. On the previous episodes, I talked about how I do DoorDash pretty much to pay off my debt. I try to hit the goal of 100 a week, and I'm pretty much there. Like, I've only worked for 7 or 8 weeks. I did the math earlier. I don't remember. I didn't write it down. But I've worked for 7 to 8 weeks. It's been 10 weeks. I've worked 7 or 8, and I've made 800 and some change. So like 840, around 840. So I would need 160 to hit my mark of meeting 100 a week if I were to work every week. But since I didn't work every week, there were some weeks I didn't even work for whatever reason. I don't even recall. But I'm catching up. So I think that's good. It's the beginning of the year. It's just a good start. Especially when you have something planned out for the year. Like, I understand now in a way why they say New Year's resolutions, because if you start in the middle of the year, it's harder to gain traction when you don't really have the planning planned. You get what I'm saying? Because I didn't plan my 2021 at 2021. Like, in 2021, I didn't plan that year. I planned 2021 and 2020. Like, the last quarter of 2020, I spent planning for 2021. So if you're somebody who hasn't really collected yourself, take 3 months to plan for the following year. But understand that you might not even be able to release any content if you're a content creator for this following months. Or you might be able to. It just all depends how you look at it. For example, with this podcast here that I'm doing now, I took a whole year to record before I posted the first episode. So that's just perspective and I guess ideas or tips, suggestions that you can take from my experience and from what I'm doing and how you can apply it to yours. Because that ultimately is my goal, to give you a guidance in a way, show you how you can apply those little things to your life and make your success as successful as mine. And I'm not saying that we have to make the same amount of money or touch the same amount of people. Success is measured in different forms, many different forms. So your success is your success. As long as you're happy with your success, it's success. And honestly, you just need to be motivated sometimes by somebody else. So that's there for you. It's always here. You can go to any other episode. More than likely, you'll find some positive energy, positive suggestions, motivation. That's what this is for. That's what I'm here for. That's my goal. Now, there's things that happen without our control, challenges, trials and tribulations that we fall through. Unfortunately, we can't control them. That is something that happened to me not too long ago. Y'all know that I had to change my tire like about a month ago and blah, 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 right? So here's the breakdown of my tires in 2021. It's crazy. I got this new car, right? And I'm like, all right, cool car. It's running great, blah, blah. You know, everything was working fine. I knew that I had to get a little things done here and there. I know I was going to need tires soon, but I didn't know that it was going to be that soon. They looked fairly new, but they were old and cracked. And one day I wake up, tires flat. There's a big old chunk of tire missing on the car. Try to add air, 19 PSI, doesn't go any higher than that. Luckily, I'm down the street from the tire shop. So what I do, I drive down there with 19 PSI in my tire. I'm saying 19 consistently because that's critical on a car, man. It's half of the tire pressure you need in the car, and it's consistently losing air. So make it, they tell me, hey man, we got a situation. Your rim was actually bent. It looks like your rim was bent from the inside, of course, before we messed with your tire and replaced it. So we just want to let you know before we add the new one. What do you want us to do? I'm like, all right, you can put a new one. I should have told them or asked them if they had to use one, but I didn't think of it. So I'm like, go ahead and put a new tire and put seal. They put sealant on the part where it's bent. 2 days later, starts fucking snowing, right? So I drive out in the snow, and the snow is hard enough to mess with my tires enough to deflate them again, or deflate that tire where the rim was bent. So I must have hit a curb or something, a curb of snow or whatever, went flat, went to go get the tire replaced again with a used tire. This time I bought a used tire and I got the rim unbent. I'm like, if it goes a couple days without getting going flat or messing up, I'm going to buy a whole new set of tires, because the car was already needing tires anyways. It started wobbling. The front tire was worn on one end, on one side, so it was causing my car to wobble or whatever, right? Get the new set of tires. This whole transaction, this whole process is about $500-600. Now, I did have my emergency funds of $1,000. So, out of this whole situation, I spent over $500. So I did have my emergency funds, luckily, of $1,000. And then I bought the set of tires, flat tire, or whatever situations happened, right? And I'm also doing DoorDash between time. So I'm able to re-up just a little bit. Like the last 2 weeks, no, I didn't pay $200 extra towards my car note, which was I was supposed to, because I got the new set of tires. And then I also got an oil change last 2 days because, I mean, the car had 10% of oil life. So I'm doing DoorDash, and you know, it's a new car to me, and I'm like, I just need to service it. I'm gonna feel comfortable changing the oil. So that way I'm back at 100%, and we're good for a while. So we're back at trying to recover from this, right? We're back at trying to fulfill the emergency funds again. I'm at $490, I believe, on my balance. So I gotta do DoorDash enough to pick that back up. Tomorrow, the next day, I'll be able to see how much I get paid for my next check, and I'll be able to plan all that out. Mondays is my day of planning. Sundays is my day of reflecting. And then the oil change is about $100. So yeah, my emergency funds are half funded. I have to do that before I can apply extra money towards the car. Luckily, we'll have the stimmy coming through. The stimulus check, the last one, will be $1,400, and I will use that to fund my emergencies again, and the remaining pay towards the car. So hopefully by the end of this week, I'll actually meet the goal I had for myself 2 weeks ago. Weirdly, if the stimmy hits and nothing else happens, the goal will still be met on time. If the stimmy would have never came, if the stimmy doesn't come or would have never came, I'd be probably about a month or two behind. I don't like to rely too much on like government decisions because you just never know until it's actually done. I learned that at my old job where they told me so many times this was going to happen, this was going to happen, this was going to happen. And I'd get so anxious and wait on it to happen. Then I'd get bored or annoyed and I'd get tired of waiting that I wouldn't wait anymore. And then it would actually happen. So I'm like, okay, why would I even stress myself about any news that hasn't happened yet? I mean, I can't control it. So it's either going to happen or not. But I'm not going to react until there is a solution. However, I still can prepare for either scenario. If it does happen, I can prepare for it. If it doesn't happen, I can prepare for it. And that's what I do. That's just how I started living my life. And guess what? No more alopecia, no more stress, and no more depression. I think that's a good investment. I just think that's a good investment overall. More of a love investment than a money investment, I would say. I like to think the word love, as a universal term for a driven passion in anything. Like, you gotta love yourself before you can love others, right? Yeah, you gotta do that. But let's talk about how it's applied to the one closest to your heart, and then transfer it to another friend, like to another person that's less close to your heart. For example, if you have a situation where, let's say you have a friend that has a flat tire, right? Let's say I'm my own friend and I didn't have my emergency funds, right? Let's make that scenario. I didn't have my emergency funds and I have a friend who is stickman, right? Who has their shit kind of together, and I reach out to them. I'm like, hey man, I need a new set of tires. I'm really trying. I'm doing DoorDash. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm really trying, but I'm not able to make enough money to make ends meet right now, you know? Like, let's say I had just started. And learned this and whatnot. Or if I didn't start at all, and I still need a set of tires. So I hit up my boy Stickman. Hey, bro, think you can help me out? Well, me loving myself, what would I do for myself? Well, first, I'm going to make sure I'm good, you know? Before I can make sure anybody else is good. You got to love yourself before you love others. So I'm good. I'm set. I got my 1,000. I'm good. I don't see anything going left right now. So I'm going to tell my boy I can help him out with 100 or 2, you know? I would probably be able to buy the whole new set, but I'm going to make sure I can see he can put in a little bit more, and then I can put maybe the same amount or whatever I can help with, you know? I'm going to try to be fair as much as possible as a friend. I'm going to treat that person as if they're me. You know what I'm saying? Because I love myself and I love that person. So I got to treat it as if I were in that situation. If I were in that mindset or in that situation, and I'm like, look, this is my resources right now, my abilities, what to do. Well, I'm going to try to do the best to make that result with that person. From what I can control, of course. I'm going to let them know, hey, this is my plan. This is what I plan on doing. This is my approach, and blah, blah, blah. They can either agree or disagree, right? They searched for help. They looked for help from me. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm going to do. It's up to them whether they want to follow through or not. But I'm going to keep my word and say, look, this is your situation. This is what I can help you with. This is what I'm going to do. As long as you do what you said you're going to do. And I see you trying. That's pretty much all it takes for me. And if you can apply that love to any situation, any person, any stranger, trust me, you will live more at peace. Why? Because if somebody falls in a situation, they're asking help from you, you're going to help them as much as you would help yourself. Now you're saying, well, I'm smarter than that. I wouldn't even be in that situation. Yeah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But what if you were to wake up in that situation tomorrow and you had the mentality you have now? Well, yeah, you're going to try to guide the person from what you know and your experiences in life and what you suggest, and they're going to go and judge their decisions off what they've lived. So at the end of the day, who's in the wrong? Nobody. You're just doing what you can and what you think is right. That's how I apply love now. Like, I was having a conversation with a friend earlier, and they were saying that they've had relationship situations, relationship problems, right? And then they found themselves. Like, and they were like, you know what? This was toxic for me. I'm out of this. Boom, boom, boom. I'm happy now, you know? And I told them, I'm like, look, I just hope someone makes you as happy as you make yourself. And you might be like, well, what are you saying? Like, you can make yourself smile as hard as you can because you know what you love, right? You know how to make yourself happy. You know what keeps you sane and calm and blah, blah, blah. You know what your needs are. You also know what your wants are. But if you know the difference, you know that needs are a priority. And needs are needs. There's no question about it. It has to be done. So once you're like loving yourself enough and you realize that needs are needs and your body and you need them, then you can realize what is good for you and what is bad for you. Because you're like, I need this. But then you start looking at the benefits and all that, the pros and cons. You're like, wait, I don't need this. This is harmful for me. This is harmful for them. We don't need this. So once you start realizing what you need versus what you want, then you can start focusing on how to better yourself, because you're actually focused on loving yourself enough to bettering yourself, growing yourself, and making progress. That there is something you cannot really just, it's just something that you're going to realize sooner or later. You may hear it by me, by somebody else so many times. However, you're not going to listen. You're going to do what you want to do to make you happy, to keep you at peace. That's okay. But whenever you're ready, you're going to remember some things that people said, and then you're going to be like, okay, now I can apply them to my life now. Me and my homeboy Apollos were talking earlier how his whole life he has an uncle that had pretty much given him all this advice. He didn't like that uncle too much, but either way, he gave him all this advice, and now he's applying it. He's like, bro, all that stuff, I was probably saying I wasn't listening, but I was listening. I just never really applied it to my life. Now I'm reflectioning, and I'm applying those things to my life, and it's working. And of course, it's working because you see it working with others. That's that on love, and I think we're just going to go and talk about what my next goals are, what my next 2 weeks look like. And I'm gonna see if I can put $900 towards the car and work more DoorDash. Like, oh man, if I have 500, the stimulus is 1,500. I have 500 to pay off my emergency funds, right? That'll leave me with $900 left, which I can throw at the car, and the car will be to a balance of about 3,000. That's not bad. My only debt right now is $4,000. That's it. I had to come up with $5,000 for down payment on my first car that I financed. I gotta save up for this very nice down payment. I'm not gonna get a car though. But what's gonna be the accomplishment? The accomplishment is I'm gonna be out of debt and I'm gonna have an extra $500 a month. So what am I gonna do after that? Like, am I gonna save that money? Am I gonna go spend that money? What am I gonna do? My plan is to save as much money as possible. Still doing DoorDash, still blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna be a little bit more free with my free spending. I'll probably eat out a little bit more often because right now I'm not eating out at all. Like, I miss going out to eat. I suffer from creating ideas on what to eat at home. Like, I'm really forcing myself. I'm not touching the restaurant. You know what I'm saying? Unless I'm doing DoorDash, of course. That's what I'm going to do. Like, I'm going to give myself a little bit more freedom on the free spending, or raise my budget a little bit more on the food so I could enjoy meals a little bit better. As of now, beans and rice, rice and beans, whatnot. I think you guys should actually check out dailyharvest.com. What they do is they send frozen meals, but this is the thing. All their stuff is organic, and you don't have to put it in the microwave. You can actually put it on the stovetop, and it's good to go. Or in the oven. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Of course, it doesn't fill you up. It's organic food, and the portions are measured. So you're not going to get full, but you're going to get nutritions, a lot of them. And you can snack along. They have snacks too. So check it out, guys. I've been doing that, and it's kind of saved my life because before that, gosh, I was eating top ramen. I was eating junk. I was eating frozen meals from Walmart that were not healthy. Of course, you put your food in the microwave and it's killing your food already. So there was no nutrition going into my body. Now, I feel like I have more. That's that. So, I mean, I say, if you think I can do this, if you think that I can pay $900 towards the car, still do DoorDash, and have the debt paid off by the end of 2021, you guys will be seeing it 2022. So if by the next episode I had done that, please give this video a dislike and come back and comment and say you didn't fulfill what you said you were going to fulfill. Actually, comment that on the next video. So if the next episode comes out and you don't hear me saying that I put $900 towards the car, or you don't hear me saying that I did DoorDash, or you don't hear me saying that I fulfilled my emergency funds again, you should dislike the video and comment and say you didn't fulfill your goals. I need you to do better, stick man. For real, I need that motivation. My goal is to get a like though. So, with that being said, make sure you like this video, you like this episode, you share it to your friends, motivate them. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe so when I do drop another episode, you're the first one to know. Visit stickman.com if you haven't. You'll find some neat stuff there. You'll find merch, you'll find information, news, and you'll find episodes. Of course, you'll just find more love. That is all for today, guys. I hope you guys are setting yourself goals either every week, every 2 weeks, every month, whatever, but constantly setting goals for yourself and catching back up, like checking back in and saying, what did I do? What didn't I do? What should I do? And with all that being done and said, deuces, and catch you on the next one.